This will be a bench test of the Volvo AQ250 and early models of the 270, the lift mechanism, and the later models of the 270. How do you recognize those? They don't have this kind of cover. So if you've got this kind of cover, this video will show you how to hook it up for a bench test. That's for the 250 and the 270. So we'll do this in two parts. One will be if you just want to test your mechanism to make sure that it's working properly. Maybe you just bought one from someone. Maybe you did some work on yours. How do you want to hook it up so that you make sure that it's A-OK before you put it back on the boat? So here is how you do that. The Volvo uses the blue wire as a ground. So this can go to your negative terminal of a battery, and your positive will be the red. So the blue will be a negative, the red will hook to your positive. And the battery doesn't have to be a high amp battery. These are not motors like windshield wiper motors or starter motors that draw a lot of amps. A lawn and garden motor is much more than sufficient. Usually just a small motorcycle battery. If it's in good shape, if your battery is fully charged, in good shape, it'll power this, and you can do a bench test with that. So you don't have to use an automotive battery or something high amp to test it. So the short test to see if you're ready to put it back in the boat is the green wire and the white wire. You've got the red hooked up to the positive, the blue to the negative, and the green wire will make the lift plunger go down. And that, of course, would pull your outdrive up. So the green, when you hook this green up to the red, the positive, that goes down, and that pulls your outdrive up. When you retract the plunger with the white wire, then your outdrive would go down. So I'm gonna put the white wire, I'm gonna connect it to the red wire, and I'm going to leave it connected so that you can see that the shut-off mechanism does work. It automatically shuts off when the lift plunger reaches the maximum travel. Automatically shuts off. So if your lift mechanism does that, you're good to go. You don't have to go any further. You don't have to watch the rest of the video. But again, green wire goes down, white wire goes up. So a couple of things before we move on to the next part of the video though. You'll want to install a new base gasket, and you can still get those from some sellers, the OEM Volvo gaskets, but they're really easy to make out of felpro material, and that'll give you at least as good a quality as original equipment. Easy to make gasket, 2 concentric circles and 9mm holes for the bolts. And I will put the measurements, if you want to make your own, I'll put the part number for the original Volvo in the description to this. Also, you'll want to, of course, install a new O-ring, and those O-rings are available from Volvo, from some sellers, or a part number 212, a common O-ring will suit the purpose just as well. So if you have access to one of those are a bit easier to find. You don't have to go through a dealer or anything. So anyway, that's the first part of the video. If you don't have any problems, and please leave me a like if you will, if you got something out of this, and if you enjoy looking at some unusual machinery, you can check out my other videos. Okay, second part. Suppose you didn't have good results, you didn't have those results with the plunger going up and down and automatically shutting off. What do we check next? You remove your cover, and before we go further, I'll say this relay over here on the right, the 5-pin relay, was not working when I originally checked this. And as grungy as it looks, you might be tempted to say, well, let's just replace it. Well, the original, the OEM, is scarce. It's a fairly common relay. Yeah, you can replace it, but if you want to stick with the original, if you take this apart, and these old German Bosch relays are made so that you can take them apart. If you take these 6mm screws out and you take it apart, the inside, as grungy as this looks, the inside will look pristine unless it's been exposed to a lot of salt water. And you can dress the contacts, and as I recall, there are 4 on this 5-pin relay with a little 2000 grit, fine grit, 2000 sandpaper. Dress those contacts and you should be as good as new. This relay now operates as good as new with only just that quick dressing of the contacts, 2000 grit sandpaper. So first thing we'll do is identify the 5-pin and the 4-pin relays. And the 5-pin, the terminals are numbered 86 upper left, 85 upper right, 30 in the middle, 87 lower left, and 87 alpha. Again in that order: upper left 86, upper right 85, middle is 30, lower left is 87, lower right is 87 alpha. So if you hook up your 12-volt trouble light, you can test. First of all, you want to make sure when everything is off. Now you've got your power wires hooked up. When everything is off, 87 alpha should give you a positive reading. 87 alpha should give you a positive reading. And while we're on the positives, let's go with the green wire. When you touch the green to the red, the 85 up here becomes positive. When you touch the green to the red, the 85 becomes positive. When you touch the white to the red, the 87 down here, it should become positive. You touch the white to the red, 87 becomes positive. And during both of those tests, 30 is common to both. So whether it's on the upside, pulling it up, or pushing it down with a green, your common terminal comes on positive. So that's your 5-pin, and you get that working, and then probably you're going to be okay. But we'll go ahead and look at the left terminal, left relay, and it's a 4-pin. The left relay is a 4-pin. The pins are numbered. 87 is the top. 87 is the top pin. 30 is the middle pin. Lower left is 85, and lower right is 86. So again, in that order, top pin is 87, middle is 30, lower left is 85, and then lower right is 86. So I've already got the trouble light. Let's see, I forgot to do something. I forgot to verify, forgot to show you that on the original 5-pin, the 86 should be negative. So it should flash now to verify that it's negative. So that's that one. Okay, so back to the left relay. Back to the left relay. When all systems are off, the terminal 30 should be positive. When just the battery is hooked up, this should be a positive reading. And when the white wire is, that's the lifting, plunger lifting wire, is touched to the positive, then 85, this terminal here, should become positive. So when the white terminal is touched to the red, this should become positive. Then it gets interesting, hopefully, because the switch mechanism, the automatic switch mechanism comes into play. So I'm going to switch the terminals now to see which ones become negative. And 87 is negative at all times. So the top terminal is negative. The 86 down here is negative, except when the lift plunger is fully retracted. In other words, lifted up. And so I'm going to touch the white wire and let the switch come into play, and you'll see that this light should go off. Okay, so again, when the lift plunger is not fully retracted, and that becomes an open circuit. That's a dead circuit. Open circuit is not positive, not negative. But when you put the plunger down, it comes back on. So it should be negative at all times, except when the lift plunger is fully retracted, and then it becomes an open or dead circuit. Okay, and the top switch that makes all that happen, this is negative at all times. This terminal is negative at all times. And then this terminal is negative again, except when the lift mechanism is fully retracted. So I'm going to retract it again, and it'll shut off. So again, if we let it down, it'll come back on. And so this is the key to that automatic feature. And while we're at it, this Volvo calls a motor protector. It's a circuit breaker, and you should get a negative reading on both of those terminals at all times. A negative reading on both of those terminals at all times. So that should be it. If all those, and this way, by the way, you don't have to take your motor off in order to check it, because this test checks the motor and the relays at the same time. So anyway, hope that was helpful, and please feel free to leave any comments, and happy boating.